There aren't a lot of authors, nonfiction authors especially, selling 20,000 copies a week, he said, which is just wild. But there are some interesting sources of income here that he's mentioned. So I recently came across a video of Jordan Peterson doing a breakdown of how much money he makes, and I thought it'd be interesting to watch it and provide some commentary on his business and how you can use some of what he talks about in your business as an author so you can make more money as well. So let's watch this video.
Look, I've said right from the beginning that I'm an evil capitalist. I don't make any bones about it. I'm not ashamed of making money. It's very hard to make money.
Can I ask you bluntly how much you make?
I make $80,000 a month on Patreon. My book is selling about 20,000 copies a week. I have royalties that probably amount to something approximating $1.50 on each of those. The tours garner about $35,000 to $50,000 an evening. I have a business that's generating, I don't know, something in the neighborhood of $200,000 a month for me personally. There's some other smaller sources of income than that.
Then you are making a lot of money.
Yes.
Out of this.
I certainly am.
So first off, great for him. I'm very happy for Jordan. He is well deserving of all the money that's coming to him. Though I'd imagine for many of you watching, you might think this guy's a powerhouse, he's an anomaly, and that's true. There aren't a lot of authors, nonfiction authors especially, selling 20,000 copies a week, he said, which is just wild. That's wild, selling 1 million copies per year of a nonfiction book that's been out for a long time. But there are some interesting sources of income here that he's mentioned. The Patreon. Patreon is a fantastic way to bring consistent money in as an author. If you can give some thought to what can I provide to my community of readers that would make them want to show up on a regular basis. Now, what can you provide in a Patreon? I think the simplest thing is to provide access to you, be it on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Show up for your readers and provide ongoing value, community, and access to you. And that is a great place to start. You won't make a lot of money right away through Patreon, but think of it in terms of this is a community, a paid membership community that I will have for the next several years. He mentioned that he's making about $200,000 per month through various business endeavors. I would guess that he's referring to some of the online courses that he's made, such as self-authoring, which you can find at his website. These are cheap courses, but he's one of those authors that can really focus on volume. If you can do a digital product that is expensive but valuable, so I would say aim for $1,000 if you can, some sort of course to supplement your book and advance the readers even further and faster, do it. It is a very high margin product that even if you're only selling 1 or 2 per month, which you can easily do, the math adds up really quickly and will very rapidly outstrip any royalties that you'll make from book sales most likely. So my top recommendation for authors to make a lot of money is consulting or advising and having a high-end offer, as high as you can go. I know authors who have $1 million offers, for real, or their advising is equivalent to $1 million in value. And this is where authors like Tim Ferriss, I think, have ended up making the most money. Tim painted himself as a brilliant marketer, and so startups and companies would come to him asking for marketing advice. And as an exchange, he would say, give me a percentage of your company, likely between 1% and 10%, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, right? And so he got a percentage of Uber before it went public. He got a percentage of Facebook, of Twitter, I believe. Don't necessarily quote me on that. I could be wrong on some of the details, but I believe he got an advisory fee, I'm almost certain, with Uber. What that translates to ultimately when he cashes that out, it's got to be hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So this is the way that you can really go from, I'm an author who's trying to figure out how I can sell tons of copies of my book, which is not a good way to make money, by the way, to really becoming one where you're making a ton of money. Get a percentage of a business or have an offer that is at the very minimum $10,000, maybe $5,000 if you're a new speaker, for instance, you could offer that as an offer. But I would encourage you aim for a minimum of $10,000 in your offer, some sort of consulting or coaching package that you can offer to business owners, people who have health issues, whoever your target audience is, have something that you can sell them for a lot of money, or that they would be willing to give you a percentage of their business in exchange for working with you. So good for Jordan Peterson, but there's a lot to learn for every author here. Don't focus on how can I sell more copies of my book. Focus instead on how can I get these higher end offers, be it consulting, coaching, or advising, or speaking, into the hands of my readers. And then develop a PDF of some sort where you could give this offer to them and present yourself as, I am the highest end version of this service that you can get, because you are an author, you've published a book, and you deserve to be well compensated and not struggle financially.